We're going to talk about the best way to make money investing in real estate. I've been investing in real estate now for 25 years. I've done everything from residential to all sorts of commercial real estate. I'm here to share with you some tips and tricks that you won't want to miss. In this video, we're going to cover a handful of things, everything from who's your number one key player that you need on your team, the importance of having a budget and sticking with it, and lastly, but most importantly, how to level up in this business. I often say I wouldn't be in this industry today if I didn't have a good mentor. That's right. Starting off, I had to have, and today I still have a good mentor. Always surround yourself by people that are achieving and doing bigger and better than you are. These are people that you learn from. There's nobody out there that knows it all. When I got started, I surrounded myself with a couple key mentors. I often say if I didn't have them when I first got started, maybe I wouldn't even be in this industry. So having the right mentor is key. I paid that mentor a lot of each deal I did for nearly 10 years while I learned. And I wouldn't take any of it back. I learned so much from this mentor, and you can too. In fact, I would say it cost me a lot less working with that mentor than me making the mistakes financially and losing money. Here's a couple things that they taught me along the way. The very first thing they taught me was, if it's not a deal, don't chase it. Do not become emotionally attached to any real estate deal to where you make a foolish buying decision. You make your money on the buy often. If you're chasing the deal, you'll lose sight, become emotionally involved, and potentially lose money on that deal. Don't do that. You want to do what you say you're going to do. This is for success in general anyways. If you tell someone you're going to do something, do it. You're going to get a name really quick out there in the industry. If you're going to show up somewhere, show up. If you say you're going to pay someone on a certain day, pay them on a certain day. No matter what it is, you're going to meet someone to walk a property, do what you say you're going to do, show up and walk that property. Even if that means that you have to sacrifice a little, cut a meeting short, whatever it is, do what you say you're going to do, follow through. You'll become that person that's reliable, accountable, and they want to do business with those type of people. Everybody does. Be that person. There's no substitute for hard work. I learned this a long time ago. I haven't seen a real estate investor get rich on a beach building everything off of a website. I know there's marketing out there. It hasn't been my experience, and it hasn't been most of every investor that I know's experience. Maybe those people are on the beach. Listen, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy your time, and you will be able to, but you got to put the hard work in and get things going. I always call it getting off the tarmac. You got to put that extra effort in to get things moving. You got to get your first property, and then your second, and then your 10th. Once you get all these things going, then you can start to enjoy it a little bit more, but you got to get things up off the ground. That hard work shows up when you're going to the job sites every day. You're taking inventory, you're noticing, you're going and working those extra hours to make sure that the products are there for your team to be working the following day. You have to be on top of things, folks. If you're not, nobody else is. It's just something that's a domino effect. The more present that you are at your job site and the more on it, the more people around you or at that job site will be. You're gonna wanna learn how to underwrite deals. I could not emphasize this enough. So many people just guess at it. And it's fine to have a ballpark number until you could drill down on it, but you gotta be able to pull the numbers and underwrite the deals. You gotta know how to figure out what's flooring gonna cost, what's your paint, what's your roof. All these things start to add up along with your holding costs, points, fees to acquire the property, you name it, commissions. These are all things that you need to factor in when determining what you're going to make and how to profit. Sticking to a budget. This is a hard one for me. I'm not gonna lie here. It's hard. Budgets get moved often. I typically have some sort of contingency in where I can make up money. Maybe I end up in a positive somewhere. It doesn't happen all the time, but if there's an area that I could save money, that's great because it offsets maybe where I'm losing money or maybe where my budget went over. Try to stick to your budget as close as possible. Again, back to the emotional piece. If you have two like products, one is a brand name that no one's really going to know, it doesn't really matter. Pick the less expensive one. As long as it's a good quality and aesthetically works, keep it moving. What I tend to do on budgets, you can have an accountant, you could have someone go through, put things in QuickBooks for that project so you could track that budget daily and where you're at. It's a good idea to have, like what your projection is and what you're on point, so you could see where you're over budget and track it live when you're actually doing the deal. Before we get to the level up part, do yourself a favor, click on the link below, subscribe so I could join you every single day and bring great content to your computer, wherever you're at. Leveling up, this next part is really important, okay? This is something that you're gonna have to learn. And for myself, I had a little bit of an issue with this, so it's something that I definitely had to learn along the way. And that is holding people accountable. Sometimes I'm just a nice guy and it just is difficult for me to hold them accountable. So I do my expectations up front. I make sure everything's mapped out of what I expect and what they expect, and so we could have a mutual or beneficial relationship, right? If they have certain draws, they expect the money in a certain time frame. Well, same goes for if we have timelines, I expect them to be on the job site during those days that they're able to work. So making sure that you're holding people accountable, enforcing even contracts, things like that. But you're gonna get people that simply are flaky. Unfortunately, this is part of the deal. So what I call my go-to people, I call them the keepers. My keepers, the guys that I really just like working with because they're reliable. They do what they say they're gonna do. They show up, they work hard. I don't have to question if they did the job or not. I know it got done. So that's one of the things that you want to pay attention to. When you find or have someone like that, ask them for referrals. This is one way for you to build your internal network and the people working on your team. It's just going to make your team more consistent and allow you to move on to the next project without babysitting. What it allows you to do is be able to scale appropriately or level up. You have to have people in a team that you could rely on. That means you hold them accountable. And if they do something wrong, yes, they should have to pay for it. But if they do something right, they should be, or above and beyond, they should be compensated as well. Take care of your team, take care of your keepers. This is gonna help you level up and create a team that they're gonna wanna go to bat for you and go to work for you. They're also going to become people that find deals for you. One way to level up is join a community, join a group that holds you accountable, and you can learn best practices from them. If you're interested in this, Real Estate KI, REKI, it's something we do. If you're interested in learning more, you could apply to join our community. For more information, click on the link in the description below.